Hi, good day everyone. My name is Ruji M. Bauliti. I am here in front of you to define or to answer the question. So the question is, what is the importance of plant taxonomy? Why is nomenclature of plant necessary? Enumerate and discuss the different taxonomic characteristics. Importance of plant taxonomy. It helps to a certain number of living beings on Earth. More than 1 million of species of plant and animals have been discovered and classified so far. It aims to classify a living organism. Millions of organisms are classified scientifically in categories, which help to have a better understanding. To help us to get an idea of the traits present in plant and animals. It given an idea of the order of the physically development. It given an idea of local fauna and flora, thus helping us to distinguish the endemic species. Why is nomenclature of plant necessary? Nomenclature of organism provide a means of communication and is an unambiguous reference system about the element that constitute biodiversity. The nomenclature of plant is governed by the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature that in principle aims at having one correct name for a taxon on the basis of priority of publication. The publication of the rules of the code and taxonomic studies involving change of circumscription of taxon result in nomenclature changes and synonyms. Enumerate and discuss the different taxonomic characteristics. The taxonomic characteristic may be defined as any express contribute of an organism that can be evaluated and that has two or more discontinuous state or conditions. The taxonomic value of a characteristic is increased if the biological significance of the characteristic have been determined.
Greetings everyone, this is Alameda Ransaleo, and for today's video, I will give the definition of the following taxonomic category. Kingdom. A basic group of natural objects that includes all living and extinct plants. The kingdom ranked as the highest taxonomic level and classification. Most sciences today recognize 6 kingdoms: archaea, bacteria, protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. The kingdoms archaea and the bacteria each constitute a separate domain. The protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia all belong to the domain Eukarya. Division. Division refers to a ranked equivalent to phylum. The use of either term is allowed under the International Code of Botanical Nomenclature, and both are commonly used in scientific literature. Class. The class ranks below the phylum and above the order in taxonomy. Members of a class share more characteristics with each other than they do with other organisms in the phylum. Amphibians and reptiles both belong to the phylum Chordata, but each belongs to a different class. Order. The order ranks below the class and above the family in taxonomic hierarchy. The groups in an order have more in common with each other than they do with other members of the same class. Family. The family ranks below the order and above the genus. Members of the same taxonomic family are more closely related to each other than they are for other members of the same order. Genus. The genus is a taxonomic rank between family and species. The groups of organisms and a genus share many structural similarities and very closely related. Members of a genus are more closely related to each other than they are to other genera in the same family. The cat family, Felidae, includes lions, tigers, ocelots, domestic cats, bobcats, and lynx. However, lions and tigers belong to the genus Panthera, ocelots, and domestic cats are part of the genus Felis, and lynx or bobcat are in the genus Lynx. Species. The species is the most fundamental unit in taxonomic and ranks of the base of the biological classification hierarchy. Members of the same species shared the same evolutionary history and are more closely related to each other than they are to any order. Organisms, including other members of the same genus. Organisms are grouped into a species based on the physical and genetic similarities. All members of the species have the same number of chromosomes.
Good day, Miss Mel. I am Jobeline Amper. In today's video, I am going to discuss and explain the different taxonomic classification system such as artificial system, mechanical system, natural system, and phylogenetic system. So let's first discuss the artificial system. Artificial system. Period ancient CA 300 BC to CA 1580 AD. The classification system created at this time were based purely on the plant's morphological characteristics such as tree, shrub, under a shrub, climber, herb, runners, evergreen, cultivated, wild, annual, biennial, perennial, and so on. Theophrastus provided the first artificial system or the artificial classification system, which was based on habitat. He divided plants into the following four categories: trees, undershrubs, shrubs, and herbs. Next, mechanical system. Period CA 1580 to CA 1760 AD. During this time, classification systems were devised based on habits as well as organs of fructification such as position, locule, number, and seed number. These systems such as Cisalpino, Bauhin, Ray, Johnford, and Linnaeus also categorize species based on one or a few carefully chosen taxonomic characteristics. So that's the classification of mechanical system. So let's proceed the natural system. Natural system, period CA 1760 to 1880 AD. These systems were based on the general resemblance or morphology of the plant's outer parts. The natural system of classification classifies organisms on the basis of their natural affinities. It takes into account a larger number of characters. The last and the most important natural system of classification was introduced by Bendam and Hooker. This system was for seed plants. This was explained in Genera Plantarum, which was published in 3 volumes. So that's the classification of natural systems. So let's proceed the phylogenetic system. Phylogenetic system. Period CA 1882-1958 ad. These classification systems were based on the general qualities understood at the time, with a focus on illustrating the phylogenetic or evolutionary relationships of plants. The study of the evolutionary links between organisms forms the foundation of phylogenetic classification. So, the evolutionary characters are also taken into consideration in this classification, along with a number of other characters. To examine relationships, use this categorization. Phylogenetic trees are used this classification. And also, phylogenetics is significant for us because it improves our knowledge, skills of how genus, genomes, and species, or as well as molecular sequences, more generally evolve. So that's all the taxonomy classification system. Thank you and God bless.